So are you having a seizure?
That's like a really weird seizure.
I forgot.
What is happening, everybody?
Hey, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Are you happy that it's Sunday? Were you scared? Were you surprised?
I'm just waiting for you to
startled.
I'm just waiting for you to stop at some point.
That's kind of the story of your whole life now, isn't it?
Seriously. It really is.
You sure you want to sign up for this forever?
God help me.
What's happening, guys? It's Sunday Live Haul. I'm Katy.
I'm Vicki. You usually introduce me. I don't introduce myself.
This is Vicki, aka Victoria, aka LVPinkPeacock, aka I don't know what else to say. AKA so upset and appalled. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday. This is pretty much our favorite show of the week, and I'm excited about this week because I think we both have awesome stuff to show.
We do.
And you've had like your best thrifting week in quite a while. Like I feel like you've been getting enough stuff every week, but you haven't really been that excited about it. And this week it's like you scored big time and tons of hard goods.
Lots of hard goods, lots of different things this week. So I know a lot of you guys are not clothing sellers, although some of you are. And I like to have a lot of variety of stuff. And I get, I'll buy clothes just like everyone else. I do like clothes. I just don't love clothes. I get sick of them. So finding cool vintage pieces and cool hard goods for resale definitely make me a little bit more excited than just clothing.
Well, and that makes the show more interesting because I mean I love clothes as far as vintage stuff goes, vintage streetwear. But when we're both showing clothes, it can get a little monotonous.
It totally does.
And so
it does for me and doing the show, never mind as a watcher, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we have some really cool stuff. And as far as our numbers go this week, we break the show up into 3 parts. We start out with our real numbers for the last week and break it down. And then we go into showing some sales highlights, and then we show our haul. As far as our numbers go, I would say for both of us, this is probably the first real, full on, we're in 4th quarter. Never mind the fact that it's December 15th right now.
Never mind the fact that it's the end of 4th quarter. But whatever.
Well, I mean,
I'll take it.
I mean, January's, I found last year, and you as well, January was just about as good as December. So I'm hopeful that January is going to come through and save the day. But I think we both had great numbers this week. We're going to look at my numbers first because the reality is my numbers look awesome. But then your numbers come in and make mine look puny. So I'll show mine first.
You're welcome for that. Lots of chatting going on in the chat. So thanks for everybody for popping in. We already have 100 people watching. We just started 2 minutes ago. So
101, everybody.
I appreciate all of you guys taking time out of your Sunday to watch us live, and all of you that watch us after and replay. We have people all over the country, and actually a few people outside of this country that watch us religiously, and we do appreciate that. Yeah. So numbers have been good this week.
So speaking of numbers, I mean, we've been showing numbers like this for about a year now. I think we started in December last year, if I remember correctly, really showing our numbers every week. And I think I'm just going to pop up the thumbnail for this show. I think this is the most that we've ever done collectively since we've started showing our numbers.
In 1 week, it's possible.
In 1 week, showing our cost of goods there and then turning into almost 8,000. I don't think we've ever been that high in the time that we've been sharing our numbers like this. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. So I mean, somebody said, who was it? Said Key Lime Kisses said, if I have to lint roll or steam one more shirt, you know what?
It gets old.
Honestly, for me, I love having a process, as our Canadian friends say. I love having a process down.
As Ryan Root says.
Yes, and that's
process.
That's part of why
he's not Canadian.
I hate doing, when I did do hard goods and stuff like that, having to kind of switch up how I took the pictures and all that kind of stuff. It drove me crazy because I like having kind of a good flow, a good workflow. And so for me, it's I do now kind of have a workflow for how I handle wrinkles and spots. And I used to steam stuff on the mannequin, and now I have a whole process that I go through. And so for me, it never drives me crazy, but I can totally get that.
Oh, I hate every bit of it.
But I don't mind.
All of it.
I don't mind. And this week, because of all the stuff I got from yesterday's fits, because I had gone through all those laundry bags, I had a lot of stuff that needed extra care. And so I was like serious business with my stains.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your stains.
How dare you? They care.
They really don't.
Why are you stain shaming me? You're so rude. You asked me if I'm done, and then I stopped. Silence for a really long time.
Because you don't.
That's where you gotta jump in.
Let's move on. Nobody cares about your stains. Wacko.
I'm trying to fill the silence here, guys. Anyway, all right. Do we want to go ahead and look at our numbers?
Yes.
Let's see. Let me move this over here, and I'm going to share the screen.
We already have a super fan that has thumbed down the show. Thank you for that.
Well, they don't want us getting too big for our britches, everybody.
I love when people subscribe to your channel just to leave the thumbs down, because you know they have to, because they leave it before you even start, so they haven't watched it. They subscribe to get the bell so they can put the thumbs down.
Yeah,
that's some real dedication on your part. I
appreciate dedication. Okay, it's hard work. Anyway, all right. So let me share the screen here, and we will look at our numbers. And like I said, we're going to start with mine so that we can all be like, oh wow. Before we look at Vicki's, and then you're like, oh, poor Katy.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so I had 30 outgoing orders for eBay. This is week ending yesterday. That's how we do our week from last Sunday to yesterday. So 30 outgoing eBay orders, 22 outgoing Etsy orders, for a total of 52 orders. Not a crazy high number, but I had some really good bigger dollar sales. And because I am really working on trying to push up my average sale price. My eBay gross sales, just over $2,068.69. That's for you, Allison. And for Etsy, $1,109.43. So my total gross sales, I broke through $3,178.12. Nice. My shipping costs, of course, went up a tiny bit, but they're nothing until you see Vicki's.
My shipping costs are always high,
but especially
because I'm shipping all kinds of crap.
Yeah. So shipping $261.64. My promotion fees for eBay and Etsy together $111.55. You can see the calculated final value fees for eBay and Etsy. And then my cost of goods $375, and that puts my total net sales after costs at $2,081.84, which I'm pretty happy with. Honestly, guys, this is like double what my net was last week, so I'm definitely a lot happier this week. My gross average sale price there is $61.12. I was trying to keep it over 50, so when it goes over 60, awesome. And my net average sale price $40.04. So I'm pretty stoked about that. All right, so what do you have to say? What say you, Victoria?
So I had a really good week, I think. So I had 66 eBay outgoing orders, 11 for Etsy and Mercari. There's actually one Bonanza order for $30 thrown in there as well, but I didn't have a separate line for Bonanza. So for a total of 77 outgoing orders.
That's crazy.
37.21 on eBay, 7.22 on Etsy and Mercari, for a total of $4,443. It was almost $4,444, which would have been pretty cool, I think. But my shipping was real high. I had a lot of international orders, and I had a lot of larger, heavier hard goods. Some of the items I charged shipping on, so that is included in the gross sales numbers that you're seeing. Promoted listing fees, that's between eBay and Etsy, and eBay final value fees, Etsy final value fees. So my total costs are just over $1,000, and then cost of goods on top of that for another 400 and change. So my total net sales, just taking out the hard costs, of just over $3,000 for the week. So damn, Gina, $3,000 for the week. That makes me very happy. It was a good week. I worked my butt off this week. Every time I started shipping, I had to ship again.
Yep.
So my gross average sale price is right where I like to keep it, between $50 and $60. So it's $57 and change. And my net was just under $40, which is pretty good.
That's awesome. Have you ever, I mean, let's, not counting like when you've had like a really massive, like when you've done like vehicle sales back in the day, but have you ever broken $5,000 in a week?
Yes, last Q4.
Okay, last Q4.
Yeah, last Q4 I had in the month of November and the month of December, I had like $13,000, $14,000 months, both of those months. So
I want to start calling it December. You almost said December, and I think that's what it should be from now on.
Weirdos.
I wanted to say, Lynn, Rain Country. So I can't pop your thing up on the screen because with this streaming software that we use, it lets you put comments up, but it does allow for super chats. But I think you did a super sticker. So Lynn, Rain Country, $5 super sticker. I want to say thank you. Really appreciate it. If I could put it up on the screen, I would, but I can't. But thank you so much for the support. We love you.
So Sandra, Wicked Reseller. Now I've got to get used to your new branding there. We're actually going to be up in your town next weekend. We've already discussed this. We'll be getting together, do a little breakfast, meet her wifey, and hopefully hang out a bit. Maybe do some thrifting or something. There's going to be thrifting involved. Whether or not she's coming along for the ride, we'll see. But
there's going to be nothing little about the breakfast I'm going to eat.
Ugh.
Okay, it's gonna be delicious.
All right, so looking forward to that.
Oh, like you don't like food? Like now you're suddenly acting like
hello, I'm a fat girl. Of course I like
acting
food.
like you're too cool for food. Okay, whatever. You're like my dad, Tom Zoberg. It's all fodder. That's what he would say.
No,
it's all fodder, and then he'd eat like a head of cabbage, like it was an apple. Ridiculous.
Your dad's gross. That's gross.
He was a classy man. Or he is a classy man. He's still
I was going to say, he's not dead.
Sorry, he's not dead.
You just buried him.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. Forever Funk. He says, Vicki, don't say that again. I need to get a water bottle. We always, our friend Lou, he always pretends to be squirting her with the water bottle when she says mean stuff about herself. I need to get a real water bottle. I'm going to start just squirting you in the face.
Like I'm a cat?
Yeah. Rude and disrespectful to yourself. I don't like it.
Shut up already. Let's go.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, do you want to get into our sales highlights for the week? Are you excited about this?
I am.
I think we got some cool stuff.
We do. You have different ones.
I bet you're excited because I have some good stories to go along with some of my stuff.
Don't you always? do you never not have a story for? Do you ever not have a story for any? I mean, the double negative. Do you ever not have a story to go with pretty much anything and everything you say? Your stories have stories.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Good.
Okay.
Great.
All right, well, let's look at what you got here. What do you got? Tell us about it. Are you rolling hard or what?
Yeah, so I picked up this jacket at our yesterday's fit sale that we had. This was in the $5 pile. I listed it and then sold it 2 days later. So for the price that you see there, $90.97. It did have a cigarette burn hole in the elbow, which you can see I put in the condition and in the photos, and it sold anyway. So I paid $5 and sold it for $90.
That's crazy. And yeah, Allison, you're telling me. Grumpy McGrumperson.
So Vasquez Vintage, Vicki, do you send offers to likers on Macari? I do. Not every single day the way I do with eBay. I'm definitely not as heavy on Macari. I've actually only had it result in a sale once. So I do it, but I only have like 150 items listed on Macari. I don't have a huge presence on there. But it's okay. I mean, it's a couple $100, I think.
She said doo-doo. Just saying.
Here we go.
Just saying. I'm really bad about sending
12-year-old boys. 12-year-old boy.
I'm really bad about regularly sending offers on eBay.
I do it every day.
I've been doing it like weekly now, so I guess looking at your numbers, I should be doing it every day.
Yeah, you should.
All right, my first one. No big story on this one, guys. This is just an awesome Ocean Pacific t-shirt, vintage 80s. It's dead stock. I still have the tag on it, which I was pretty stoked about. I got this a couple weeks ago from yesterday's fits. I think I paid like $10 for it. I did not sell it for $97.99, but I did take an offer for $70. Wanted to bring the dollars, keep the dollars rolling in. So I took an offer for $70. So I think that's a pretty good flip right there. Remember Ocean Pacific? That's a Walmart brand now.
It is a Walmart brand now.
But it used to be super cool when I was a kid.
It once was cool.
Yep, I was into it. All right. First one or next one for you.
So this took me a very long time to sell. So this was a pretty old vintage Hawaiian shirt, but it has just such a basic kind of boring, you can tell by the mannequin and the lighting, this is not really great. It's not bark cloth. It's a basic boring print. I think if it were loud, it would have sold a lot better. So anyway, it sold for what you see there, $160, but it did take me a good 18 months to sell it. I think I picked it up for about $3 to $5 a long time ago. I got a lot of help from someone that knows Hawaiian better than I do, where I was able to help date it. But I also did a lot of investigating based on the brand and everything like that. So it took a while to sell, but I mean, $5 into 160, I'm okay with that. Almost everything sells in Q4. That's what I tell people. Almost everything sells in Q4.
There's nothing boring about Pussy Willows, okay? That's all I gotta say. All right?
All right. The colors, yellow and brown. Meh. I think if it were a brighter Hawaiian shirt, it would have sold way better.
All right. Does it have a brand? Somebody wants to know what the brand is? Grammar Cheap Cheap?
The brand is Lurline Casuals, just what you see on in the title. And it's not a brand that you're likely to find again because it's from the 50s. It's a very
Waikiki.
It's a very, very vintage type of brand. So that's the thing about vintage. It's not something you're likely to find out in the wild more than once. But the storyline about this is a specific cruise ship line that was created for travel to Hawaii and back in the 50s. It was a luxury cruise line. So
luxurious.
Yeah.
All right. So next one for me is this US Open 96 sweatshirt. Now, this is one of the things I got from that super lame mystery box that I bought off of Instagram that just didn't really have anything that exciting in it. But I did get this in it, and then there was that weird doctor's t-shirt from last week. So I got two things that sold decently. Anyway, this one I had gotten an offer on forever ago, and then they never paid, so I relisted it. And then somebody bought it for the $70 just this last week. And what's noteworthy about this one, they're up in Washington. They paid an additional $23 to have it put in an express mailer to them.
Yikes!
So that was pretty awesome. So I shipped that out real quick. But it was pretty cool. And then it was, all that stuff had like stains and stuff on it. So it has some light marks on the sleeve. But it's pretty excited to be able to sell it for a decent price. So I actually did just barely make my money back on that box. So I guess that's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, you get two good things out of it anyway.
There you go. All right.
So this was something I've had for over a year. I had it out in display with my misfit tree. I'm regretting that because that I didn't keep him because I do really like him, but I also like money more.
Is your happiness worth $72.96?
Well, between that and the other one that I sold that I don't think I put up there, or I did put up there. So anyway, he sold for, I paid like $3 at a garage sale. It is true vintage Rudolph stuff. A lot of it has been, reproduced at least recently, and there's a lot more mass produced. But the older Gemmy and the older Stuffies brand misfit toys still sell very well. So this sold for $72.96. The one thing that was difficult is that thankfully he didn't go too far away because he is in dimensional shipping. You cannot squish him down because he had a solid body, so I couldn't squish him. So he looked like a dead body wrapped up in a poly bag, but he was big.
Yep. All right. Althea. I'm sure Alethea. Am I saying your name right? I just totally butchered her name, and I apologize. You're talking about the t-shirt cleaning solution that we talked about on Friday's show. If you go to the link down below, the first link that we have in the description of this video is to our Amazon storefront. And in that, I have linked like all the different products that we use. Now, when I do white t-shirts, I soak them in hot water, and it's called LA's Totally Awesome Base Cleaner. It's like an OxyClean knockoff, the powder, and you can get that at Dollar Tree for $1. But I have a link to it on Amazon just so you can see what it is. And so I just soak that. That's what I do. It's like my t-shirt solution. And I also use the bleach pens, the Clorox bleach pens, and those are linked on the Amazon page as well. So that's kind of like a real basic. We still need to do a video where we kind of go more into depth about what we do as far as like cleaning stuff.
Yeah, and as Vasquez Vintage says, and I've talked about this a lot too, anything Gemmy, I call it Gemmy. Apparently it's supposed to have a hard G. Somebody says Gemmy. That just sounds weird to me. So I guess like a GIF.
Whatever. Say it however you want.
Anyway, Gemmy stuff, vintage Gemmy stuff, especially the stuff that sings and dances and stuff like that, is definitely always worth picking up. So
for sure. All right, next one for me is this awesome jacket, this Fountain Power Boats satin bomber jacket. I love it. What's funny is this jacket is actually one of the first things I ever bought that was from Yesterday's Fits, but I didn't know it at the time. They originally had sold a whole bunch of stuff to Barry, Afro Vintage, and then he turned around and he basically bought a ton of stuff from them, and they came straight to my house, and I went through and bought a bunch of stuff. So I paid him $25 for this jacket. It's just a really awesome satin bomber jacket, and I took an offer for $125. So for a $25 buy-in, I think $125 is not bad. I've had it for maybe a month and a half. So I just loved I love this kind of stuff. I think this jacket's pretty sweet. All right, next one for you.
So this is one of those, this is not this type of fantastic sweatshirt. This is not what we call those, the Sasquatch sweatshirts, but it is by the brand Fox. This is one of those things where we talk about ending and relisting as sell similar, your older listings. So this was a listing I'd had it for about 6 months. This is not perfect. It has a little tear in the pocket. I had it listed for $100 because my stuff is always on sale. It would have been somewhere around $70 to $75 on sale, and then a best offer on it. And I figured I'd probably sell it for around 50 or so. I paid $5 to $7 for it, and I had just relisted it and done sell similar. It sold overnight for $100. They paid full price, and yeah, I mean, that's why it's something that had been sitting in my store for 6 months, and I relisted it as a sell similar, and it was a new fresh listing.
Yeah, nice. All right, this one right here, guys. So this is a jacket I actually picked up at Burlington.
Yep.
Formerly Burlington Coat Factory, several months ago. It might have even been almost a year ago. I paid $30 for it, and because I just thought it was super cool. It was the only one there. I actually searched everywhere through the store trying to find more of them. I believe I paid $30 for it, so it's new with tags, of course. And at the time, I don't remember what I listed it for originally, but then the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants passed away during this last year, and so being the reseller that I am, I did price it up a bit, and I kind of forgot about it. And this just sold yesterday for the price you see there, $175. And at first I was like, yeah, and then I went and looked at my solds, and it said it hadn't been paid for, but it had. I'm like, how did they not pay for it? Because it wasn't an offer. So I was trying to figure out how has it not been paid for? And then I got this notification from PayPal saying that they were, for whatever reason, they had decided to hold the payment because they wanted to look further into this particular transaction to make sure it was legit, I guess. And so I was like, oh man. And then today I finally got the notification saying that they cleared the payment. So I did get the payment on this, $175 for a members only Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants denim jacket, which I think is pretty.
Did I miss what you paid for it? I'm sorry.
I paid $30.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got it when we were at Burlington. But yeah, so it took a little bit longer.
I'm pretty sure did I pick this up off of a rack for you?
No, you did not.
Sometimes I do that, and
sometimes you do.
I did for some other stuff that night. That same night we were shopping.
Probably. But anyway, super awesome. All right, next one for you.
So this I don't know if I showed this last week or the week before. As you can tell, with the ring light, you get, especially the double ring light, you get the nice, it looks like a smiley face effect from the ring lights.
I'm glad you're wearing clothes.
And I was just going to say, be grateful that I'm wearing clothing. Unlike, the infamous eBay listing with the fat naked man not wearing clothing. So you're welcome for that. So you can see it's really hard to do anything chroma reflective. It does look like a robot. But you know what? As I've said before, I'm not trying to get my pictures perfect. I was taking these photos. It was fairly dark in the room, so there really wasn't another way for me to take it without you seeing that. So I did sell it. I sold it for what you see there, $124 plus shipping. I paid $20 for it, so that was something I did pay up a little bit for, but I knew it would sell. And that was without being tested. That's without the cord for it. Sweet Mo Monty actually sent me a message the other day and said, I found a cord that will work for you. Can I send it to you for that thing? And I was like, oh, it already sold without it. She's so cute. But yeah. I was like, thank you for the offer, but it sold without it. So
I wonder if whoever bought it is even going to actually use it, or if it's just something for decoration. But yeah, I wanted to go in. So Rags, Sandy said eBay said they're randomly doing that, holding payment. Listen, I can kind of understand that, like during the holidays, they're probably maybe there's like more suspicious stuff going on. But the thing is, here's the problem. Luckily, this sold yesterday. The SpongeBob jacket sold yesterday, which is a Saturday. So I didn't have to ship it until tomorrow. So it hasn't been shipped yet. So them holding payment for a day didn't make any difference as far as shipping. But what if they bought it on Monday and they needed it in a particular amount of time, and or just the holidays in general, and they're holding something and it says for up to 3 business days. It was only 1 day, but they say up to 3 business days. Like that could totally screw up the shipping time. And so I don't know, it's kind of lame. And also there's the fact that
screw it up for you, it screws it up for them.
Well, that's my problem though. That's the whole point, is like they're my customer, and what if it was a real problem for them and then they're unhappy with their purchase? So on the one hand I get it, but I'm also kind of like, kind of lame. Anyway, all right, so next one for me. So this one isn't like anything necessarily super exciting, but I bought this sweatshirt from yesterday's fits. I believe I paid $10 for it. And man, I listed this and it sold like within like a day. It's a nice sweatshirt. It's a nice heavy sweatshirt. 90s Miami Dolphins, kind of a cool graphic on there. But some of this stuff I feel like on Etsy, I list it and it just like flies off the virtual shelf. But this one, it did not go into the sale that I have going on there. So it sold for $47.99. Like I said, I paid like $10 for it. And I was saying on Friday's show, this is when I was talking about, because I had picked another Miami Dolphins sweatshirt for Teresa, and I think it's even cooler one than this one. And I sold mine for almost $50. So not a bad little sale. But a lot of this like sports stuff seems to sell really, really well on Etsy. All right, next one for you.
So this one I showed in a haul video, I don't even know, maybe 2 weeks ago. It wasn't listed for very long. It was listed for less than a week. I keep saying, so after I list my items, I move them into the living room and they sit there for about 4 or 5 days before I actually put them together and put them away in where all my inventory is stored and where they're properly stored. So it's funny. I always say it's, now I need to like leave stuff in the living room because it sells before I put it away.
Just
so
do it.
This was one of those things that sold before I had a chance to put it away. It was listed for just a couple of days.
You showed it last week.
Did I show it last week?
I think it was last week.
If it was not last week, it was the week before. But it was listed and sold within 2 or 3 days, and it sold for the price that you see there. And it set the price for the highest pre-owned massager.
That's awesome.
By this brand. If you look them up now, a lot of people are selling them in the $40, $50, $60 range, but some people have sold them close to where I was selling it. So I expected it to sell or have a best offer made on it, and it did not get a best offer. They sold for the sale price that it had rolled into.
Nice.
So
nice.
I will tell you what, it is like a freaking jackhammer, that thing. It is so, we turned it on
so good.
We turned it on to test it, and I had it on Katy's back, and it makes
good.
your whole body go like this.
I love it.
It was frightening. I had to pull the plug out of the wall because I was afraid it was going to start smoking.
I thought it was,
and that
awesome.
Wasn't even on like the high speed. It was a little scary, and it's big too. It's like this big, so it's meant to go up and down your back and your shoulders.
How big is
and the
it?
Back of your legs.
You're like holding your hands up, and it's like nobody can see you can do it again now.
No, it's like this big. Sorry. So it's this big square thing. So it's like holding on to like a piece of machinery. People said it looks like a sander. It totally looks like a sander. Yeah. That's what it looked like when it was on the table when I purchased it.
Was nice.
But yeah, it's definitely good for the back.
Oh, it felt good. Well, and my back's always sore. Like I always like lean up against like the corner I'll go to the doorway and like get the corner of the wall like right into my back muscles, and like it's like I'm when you like go by a pasture and there's like a cow rubbing itself on a tree.
That's you.
That's pretty much me, like on the corner of the wall.
I don't know. It was. I can see why chiropractors use it, but man, that thing had like a turbo engine in it. It was a little frightening.
Yep. All right, next one for me is this Wisconsin Badger sweatshirt, and the reason I wanted to show this one is because man. We keep talking about Wisconsin Badgers. Like if you find anything by this team, I cannot keep it again on the rack in my store. I keep selling stuff
on the virtual rack.
On the virtual wise, I guess it's a real rack. But this is the same team. The Dana sold that sweatshirt that she got from yesterday's fits. I believe I got this one from yesterday's fits. She sold hers for $70. I mean, hers was like a really cool one. It was on purple. This one, I had it listed for maybe a couple of days. And let me show you what it sold for. But it was great. $50. it was on sale, so I sold it for $53.99. And what I'm really excited about is I have another sweatshirt, Wisconsin Badger sweatshirt, which I'll be showing in today's haul. That's an even better one. The graphics even better than this one, so I listed it even higher than this one.
Man.
But seriously, like, who knew? At least somebody else is probably gonna be like, well, I knew, it's a great team, everybody loves them. But seriously,
for us non-sportsing people,
yeah,
we did not know.
I'm just like, man, that's awesome. So anytime you see Wisconsin Badgers, if it's a decent graphic, cool vintage sweatshirt, t-shirt, definitely pick it up because they're selling really well for me, especially on Etsy. All right, what's this?
So this is the Shaggy Dog
Speaking
coat.
of cattle, here's your sheep jacket.
Yep, so this is the Shaggy Dog jacket or Shaggy Dog coat. This actually, I showed this, I think 3 weeks ago. I paid $5 at a garage sale for it. It is vintage. It is Mongolian lamb is what they call this, sheep skin fur. It's really freaking ugly in my opinion. But it's definitely 70s. Like, it makes me think of the movie Almost Famous. This is like the jacket Kate Hudson was wearing. You know, she's a Band-Aid. Anyway, so I took an offer for $175 on this. I paid $5 for it. It was listed for less than a week, and I was pretty happy with that.
Do you remember where it went?
It went to New York.
Because look, Reselling Diva says, let me guess, this jacket went to New York.
It did go to New York. Did you purchase it, Reselling Diva?
I think probably she's thinking that somebody who's wearing that is probably gonna be walking down the street in Manhattan.
I sell a lot of my interesting jackets to New York. Yeah, you know what? I do too. I sell a lot to California as well. But yeah, this did go to New York.
That's pretty cool. All right, next one up. So this is a sweatshirt that I picked up. Bless you.
I'm so sorry.
Bless you. You should be sorry. This is a sweatshirt I picked up at Yesterday's Fits. I think I got this at the official sale that we co-hosted last week. So I would have been hanging up, so I would have paid $10 for it. And I wanted to show this because, you know, there's the stuff like wolf t-shirts and different things like that, you know, people talk about. But I found that these ones that have like a bunch of different animals on them, like the animal montage, if you will, seems to do really well. And I literally had this listed for maybe 24 hours. It's from 1991. It's just a jersey sweatshirt.
Something else I would never buy. I don't understand these sales.
So I paid $10.
I know they're selling for you. I get it. I mean, it's clear that you sell this stuff. I just don't understand it. And it would be stuff even with what I know, I wouldn't pick that up.
But you got all these animals, so they make for great keywords. You know, I make sure to have them all in the keywords and stuff like that. And this one, like I said, sold in I think less than 24 hours for $47.99. So basically, you know, paid $10 for it, sold for about $50.
It's stupid ugly. Who wears
whatever?
This stuff?
It's super cool, man.
Not.
You're obviously not an animal lover. You guys,
I am an animal lover. I don't.
No, you're not. You're full of lies. Every day I tell her, look at the dogs. Look how cute they are. And her response, they look exactly the same as they did yesterday. And I'm like, no, they don't. They look different. They look more cute than they did yesterday because the love in my heart grows from day to day like it should if you're an animal lover. But they're just an accessory for you. And if they're not cute enough, you don't even care. And every day they look the same. And I send you pictures every day and you don't even care. Just saying.
Are you done yelling?
No, I'm not. I want people to know that you are a monster. You went too far. Too far. Anyway, I think they're awesome. All right, so next one for you. Let's go.
Okay, so again, this was also under my Misfits tree. I purchased it at the same time as the Snowman. It's the same line. This one's not Gemmy. This is one that by that brand Stuffies, and it sold. And I had them under my tree last year, and he's my favorite. I'm an idiot. I probably should have pulled it down and kept him. But he sold on Etsy within a couple of days of the other one. Different people. Different purchases.
And the other one was eBay.
Yeah, the other one was eBay.
And it sold for, let's see here, Flipper Tools. What? Why this one sell for so much more than, well, the other one was Gemmy.
The other one was Gemmy, and it was on sale. But also Hermie is he's my favorite Misfits character, but he's also a little bit harder to find. Like there's no other one available like that. There's, and the thing about it is he's 24 inches tall. He's this tall, like off the table, like 24 inches. He's not a little one. He's a big, huge, tall, solid stands. It looks like a toddler.
Yeah.
So
Well, then you shipped it in basically a big poly bag, and it looked like you were taking in a little tiny body into the.
It's true. I joked with the FedEx guy. I said, I swear to you, it's not a dead body. He goes, hey, listen, I've done time. No judgment. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah. And then he's like, well, honestly, I'd probably have some judgment here. He said, if you rolled up a rug and brought that in all taped up, we wouldn't discuss it. He said, but because it's like 2 feet long, he's like, kind of looks like a baby. I have issues with that.
You shouldn't be shipping baby bodies across state lines.
Yes, I know. Hard G on the Gemmy, whatever. It sounds weird with the hard G.
Yeah. We'll just say how we want to say it.
I said that earlier.
All right. Next one for me is this Phoenix Sun starter jacket, 90s starter jacket. This is from yesterday's fits. I bought this not this week, but the week before. I think it was like the week before, maybe the week before that. I had bought a huge pile. Vicki and I had gone and I got a huge pile of starter jackets and all kinds of sports jackets. This was one of them. It's Phoenix Suns. It's a really nice one. So I'm pretty sure I probably paid $30, maybe $35 for this one. It's just a really cool one. And when you look up like Phoenix Suns 90 starter jackets, I could find other ones like this one, but it's definitely not the more common one as far as the design with this black and white under the sleeves. So it's a pretty cool one, I think. Nice big embroidered patch on the back. And so I had this listed for maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks tops. Nice. And I sold this one.
Just had another sale.
I did not sell for $149.99. It was on sale for 10% off. So I sold it for $135. So this is for $135, and it's going international. So they paid another $33.75. I will say, guys, this one is going to Italy. I know there's been some posts about sending to Italy. Italy does have like a lot of restrictions about things that they supposedly don't allow you to send there. And some of the stuff is a little bit confusing. As far as my experience has been, they tend to be especially hard on about shoes, like really picky about shoes coming into the country. I've never had a problem sending stuff to Italy. I've sent, high price stuff to Italy. I've never had an issue with it. I will insure it just to make sure, but I'm not worried about it. So I don't know. It's kind of something that comes down to personal preference and how comfortable you are with shipping to Italy. But I will tell you,
it's my only country that I have blocked, and it's just because I've never had anything but problems with them.
Yeah, so. And I've never had an issue. So we'll see.
And their restrictions are so tight that it's just not worth having to refund and end listings because somebody buys something they're not supposed to buy. It's just a pain in the ass.
I've never had an issue with it. I think it's a little bit harder when you sell a wider variety of stuff like Vicki does. But as far as clothing goes, I've never had a problem, so I'm not going to worry about it. I've made a lot of money selling stuff to Italy. So, but yeah, so they paid an extra $34 for shipping. And with pirate ship and their simple export rate, it's going to cost me.
Nice. We've got a nice fan in here. Money hungry peeps like you make the world suck. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Money hungry people that work hard and have jobs.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
I do love me some money, and I tell you that I'm hungry for it. I mean, who doesn't like money?
Yeah.
That's kind of silly.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So hold on a second. I lost the little thing there. There we go. Next one for you. Here we go.
This was a cute little guy. I showed him in a haul. I paid $2 for him at Savers. I think I've probably had him for about at least 6 months or so.
He's cute.
He is cute. I love puppets. I pick up puppets every time I find them.
You haven't had this one that long, actually.
I think about 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's only been a couple of months.
I think I've had him for about 6 months.
Anyway, and you want to see how much you sold this puppy for? Sorry, this is bunny. It's not a puppy. It's a bunny. There you go.
$169.95.
That's crazy. Why so much?
It's a very popular, expensive rabbit. I bought it because I saw that it was a Jim Henson puppet and it was vintage when I got it. I didn't think it would sell for that much. I was in my head, when I buy stuff, I don't always research it. It was $2. I was buying it regardless. I figured it was like 30 or 40 bucks resell. When I got it home, I realized that it sells for quite a lot. And I actually priced it on the high end of that collection. There's only a few of them. So
very cool. All right. So this last one is going to be my sad tale. I saw Allison making some comments in the chat alluding to this. So I sold this Arnold Palmer cardigan sweater. I sold it yesterday morning. I woke up in the morning and I had a sale, and it was on sale, so it sold for $62.99. So I was all excited. I sold it. And then I go to look at who it sold to, and the username on Etsy was it was Macklemore. And I'm like, oh, it's somebody who's a fan of Macklemore, because it's like they put their name in there. But then I saw like who it was shipping to, and the name of the person was Ben Haggerty, which is what Macklemore's name actually is. And so I'm like, man, they're like a super fan. Then I saw that it was going to Seattle, and I'm like, okay, because I know he's from Seattle. And so then I like Googled the address, and it's like it's a legit mansion.
It's a legit.
And I'm like, okay, so
mansion.
it's either somebody who is like a crazy super fan who lives in Seattle and also has lots of money, or it is, let's just go ahead and assume it's actually him. So I sold this cardigan to Macklemore for $63. I was super stoked about it because I actually do really like Macklemore a lot. I like his music a lot. I think he's awesome. He's a super huge supporter of the LGBTQ community, and he's just an all around, just seems to be like a really awesome guy. And so I sold this.
Come on, have you watched his video for his grandmother's 100th birthday and him doing all this bucket list stuff for her on her birthday? Come on now.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you need to, because you just know he's a nice guy by watching that.
Yeah, anyway. He's just a good dude. So then I go to pull it. I go out to look at my inventory. I don't have a ton of sweaters. I just have like 3 bins with them in it. And lo and behold, I had already sold it on eBay. I'm really pretty good. Like Vicki will sometimes, she'll wait till like the next day to go and pull stuff that's been sold on one platform from another. So, but I'm a lot more, the second I sell something, I will go and pull it from the other platform. I'm really good about it, but still stuff slips through the cracks sometimes. And this was one of them. So I was like, oh man. But I did end up having like 2 other yellow cardigans, vintage cardigans, one of which was an Arnold Palmer one as well, but a different size. And so I wrote to him and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. This one already sold, but it ended up, it was still showing that it was in stock. I go, but here's a couple of other options for you. But he looked at them, and one of them was like just a really bright yellow, and he wasn't into that one. And the other Arnold Palmer one was just a little too small. So I had to cancel the sale. And I was like super sad about it. I was really bummed, guys.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So that is my story.
You almost sold to somebody.
That's my story about how I sold an awesome vintage cardigan to Macklemore, and then I had to cancel the sale and refund him because I'm super lame and did not end it on eBay. But
I sold a jacket to Drake a couple years ago.
I will say this, guys. Listen, had I pulled that listing when I sold on eBay, I never would have had the experience. So I wouldn't have even had the cool story about how I ruined.
And you communicated back and forth with him a little bit.
So barely.
It's like me with Danielle from
Yeah, except my last message. My last message was I did tell him at the very end that I was a big fan, and he didn't respond to that. So basically, I probably creeped him out.
Creeped him out, offended him, because now you have his address.
I creeped him out. No, I'm sure he gets that all the time. So anyway, whatever. Whatever, guys. That's my sad story. It's my sad wah story.
I'm sorry.
But those are our sales highlights for the week.
I don't know. Ty Pennington is pretty damn cute, or he used to be about 15 years ago. He's gotten a little older, like all of us. But anyway,
yeah, that's my only like celebrity sale I think of.
Oh, I've had a few
that I know of, because I'm sure there's plenty that do not use them.
Yeah, my sale to Drake actually went to Drake's personal assistant. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. So that's what I mean. I've sold to like television shows and movies and stuff like that, but that's the only time that I know of that I've sold to anybody famous, and then promptly fucked that right up. So, all right. Do you want to get into our haul?
Yes, I do.
Why are you excited about this?
Because I have some good stuff.
Where did you get this good stuff from?
We went to an estate sale 2 days in a row. So we went the first day, and it was actually the second week. They had an estate sale last weekend, and they had so much stuff, and a lot of it was really curated. And this happens to be an estate sale company here that is, let's just say, very high priced. So I didn't even go to the estate sale last weekend, but this weekend we went, and they opened up a different section of the house. It's a huge house, hoarder collector house. Everything was very nice and neat though, but it was good stuff. It wasn't like hoarder, like dirty stuff.
No, they were like hardcore collectors. And then we found out because their neighbor was there. And so we got a little backstory. It was actually 2 men, a gay couple, and I'm pretty sure one of them worked for like the airlines.
He worked for TWA.
Because you can tell by the stuff they have in their house. And the other one must have been some sort of computer guy because there were a lot of computer t-shirts. But once it all came together, once you realized it was this gay couple, because it was all like tons of Marilyn Monroe posters and stuff.
Marilyn Monroe, Carmen Miranda.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds,
old school stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of themes going on, lots of show tune stuff, and as cliche as it is, but yeah, that was what they collected.
But it was lots of like awesome stuff. It was really, really cool to go through. And they said it was the second week. They said that the garage was just packed like floor to ceiling with boxes, and so they, with this week they had brought a bunch of that stuff out and opened it.
So we went on Friday for a little bit. I spent a little bit on Friday, but the prices were real high. And then yesterday everything was 50% off. And it was packed still. So spent a couple $100 yesterday and still left so much behind. So
yeah, for sure. Jen says that she's shocked the Psycho Tee is still hanging up. Listen, I priced it crazy high because there really isn't anything else out there like it. But that also means that it's very easily going to sit for a long time, which I'm okay with because I love it so much. I want to sell it, but I don't want to sell it so quick. So right now I have it listed basically for $350. I don't want to sell it for less than $300 right now. And there's a very good chance it'll just sit and I'll have it for the next however many months before I do sell it. But for now, it's going to hang out on the wall because I love it. It brings me joy. I don't want to wear it, but it does bring me joy. So that's what's going on.
Oh, it's so funny. So I had, let me see what I'm seeing there. The blue airline bag. Yeah, I sold it already. The blue airline bag I showed last week, I sold today for full price, $80.
Yeah.
I paid $5 for it. So Karen, who I don't think is in the chat, was here on vacation and passed it by because she couldn't fit it in her bag. And then I ended up buying it. I sold it for $80. So
that's pretty awesome. All right. So what'd you get?
So, okay. So I'll show a couple of things. So I did pay up for this quite a bit. There are no others listed, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to clean it a bit. But this is a vintage souvenir tablecloth from the New York World's Fair. But
so awesome.
What's really nice about it, so the New York World's Fair was it tells you like how to clean it and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty cool tablecloth. It does have a bit of a stain right on the middle, and it's just still factory folded with the tag on it. The stain looks like blood. So I'm hoping I can spot clean it and get it out. But I paid $30 for this. I think I can get, see, they had the price at $60. And then I got it at 50% off day. I think I can get at least $150 for it if I can clean it up. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. I think you can clean it up. I think you use some spot cleaning on that.
Yeah, maybe with a Tide stick, that's possible. I think I might just do a little bit of dish detergent and spot clean it. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But I did pay up for it. I think it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
So let's see. So I did pick up, I didn't bring both of them up here, but I did pick up 2 vintage chrome toasters.
Those are awesome. The ones that have like the fabric cover.
Yeah, the old fabric cord. And usually you don't find these with these type of cords intact. These cords break down and disintegrate over time. So this is a nice 1940s toaster with a little bit of Art Deco. So the whole chrome thing.
It's really pretty.
It's really pretty. I got 2 of these. I paid $5 a piece for them. I should sell them for about $75 or so. People that like that whole retro mid-century look, that's what this is. This is mid-century modern, and the whole chrome look. And the fact that there's no corrosion and the cords are fantastic on both of them is awesome.
So Reselling Diva says if that is blood spots, peroxide works every time. So you can try that out.
Good idea.
Yeah. Because peroxide doesn't bleach, right?
No.
All right. So
I picked this up in the garage. I paid $2 for this.
I love this one.
This is just a vintage Walt Disney Productions. It's probably 60s or 70s. It's a little kid's school bag, bookcase bag. It has a vintage Mickey astronaut on it. It's really cute. It's in great condition.
I love it. I like how not he's an astronaut, but then Minnie's like in a UFO. That's not even like that's like a it's not even like a space shuttle or anything like that. She's in a freaking UFO, guys.
I know, he's cute. So it's about $2. So I think I'll probably list it for like 40 or so, maybe 50. It is a book bag, Grandma Cheap Cheap. It's so just cute. It's a tiny one. So people that are Disney fans could definitely carry this as a purse or handbag, whatever. So I'm kind of excited about it. It was like buried in the garage.
I'm not a huge Mickey fan, but I love space stuff. So I was really digging that.
I did pick up a bunch of board games. They had a lot of board games there. And this place is they do price things a little high. So the board games were at $4 a piece. Not that that's really high, but I don't usually pay more than $1 or $2 at a garage sale or even at Savers. Board games are usually not that expensive. But this one, I picked up ones that I had not seen before or I didn't see that frequently. And this is one of them. I had never seen this one. This is a vintage, it's from the 80s. Alice in Wonderland board game. So this is from 1984. It's by a brand called Katy, who makes a lot of board games and puzzles and things like that. So this one sells intact, and this is actually 100% intact for about 50 or 60 bucks.
That's
so
awesome.
Keep that one in mind. And again, like anything else,
is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and the box is in great shape. So like anything else, you're going to find people that sell things too cheaply, but that doesn't mean that you need to race to the bottom with the price. There are a few of these that have sold in the $15 to $20 range because people don't know how to price things. They've also sold for $60 and $70. So definitely something that I can sell for about $50 plus shipping.
So Jill was asking about the little Mickey bag with a laptop fit in there. I don't think a regular one would, but like I have like a little Chromebook and those are extra small, and that probably would if you had like
I think that maybe a Chromebook or a tablet could fit in it, not a laptop. It's pretty small. This is about maybe 14 inches across.
Yeah.
If you really want to know specific dimensions, let me know, Jill, and I'll measure it for you. So this board game I'm super psyched about. I had no idea that. I just knew that I had never seen it before. It's by Ideal. Anything Ideal I tend to pick up. Ideal is a vintage toy and game company. So Sinking of the Titanic game. Another one. A lot of people will price it very, very cheaply, but if this is complete, not only is this complete, this is never used.
So I think it's crazy. Like, I mean, it's because we're so removed from that event. It's like, oh, here's a board game where like mass casualties happen.
I know, right?
And it's like, let's play a game.
Sinking Titanic game. Nobody would want to see a board game about blowing up the Empire State Building. That's horrible, right?
It's just bizarre.
It's too close. But I guess because it's 100 years, ago. So all the pieces are still in their plastic wrap on these. So this particular board game, I can sell for over $100 easily.
That's crazy, and it's in really nice condition too.
Well, yeah, it's all brand new inside. I mean, the box has one split corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, it doesn't have any split corners. I lied. So yeah, I should sell this for over 100.
Bear Kitty. Spoiler: it sinks.
And then I'll do one more thing, and then you can do a few.
Okay.
So this is something I picked up at Savers. This is one of those things you want to always look at the educational toys in Savers because some of them sell for a lot. This is one I paid $8 for this. This looks like just a boring box, right? If you Google Mortensen math, it's a count or multiplication type of homeschooling educational kit. It's just a bunch of blocks. They look like little Legos, but they're not. They don't attach to each other. This kit and this game, I paid $8. This thing sells for about $180. Yeah, Mary Sullivan. Those are big bucks. $180 I'm going to get for this thing.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So
Reselling Diva says, guys, say thank you for keep saying don't race to the bottom. I've sold many things higher than most, and even a 70s Ouija board this weekend for over $70.
Awesome. I sold one last week for $60. So that's exactly right. You should be asking for the higher prices because there's no reason why you aren't selling them for that. And there's nothing wrong with people that want to sell stuff for $20. They buy it for $1 and sell it for $20. But why? Yeah. It's still going to sell at the higher price.
And the reality is when you're selling one-off like vintage type stuff, that's not what Race to the Bottom should be for. I mean, well, you really don't want to have it anytime. But let's say you're selling, I always go to the old, you sell printer ink for a specific printer, it's like, yes, there's going to be a set price of what the market can bear. And you can't go like, I'm going to price mine 50% higher. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But when you're talking about vintage collectibles, there's so many different factors that go into it, like the condition of yours, the pictures, your policies, where you ship to. There's so many different things that, the feedback on your account. There's so many things that are going to kind of weigh into why you're going to end up being able to sell it for a lot more. So.
Yep. I love board games, Mary. They're so easy to list. They're easy to ship. And yes, they are expensive to ship these days. And I never use that flat rate board game box because that thing is like almost $18 to ship across the country or anywhere anyway. And it's that they're never that much to ship. But I tend to charge $10 to ship a board game, and it usually costs me, if it's going, past the middle of the country, it usually costs me 12 to 14. So if I charge 10, it still looks like a reasonable price. It's not dimensional weight. It's not, it costs me a couple of extra dollars. That's totally fine. Most of the board games that I list are not super common, so I'm not worried about it having to be at the top of a list and being the lowest price and have free shipping, because if there's only 4, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Karen wants to buy the Mickey bag, so just get in touch with Vicki. Find her on Instagram or.
Yeah, Karen, you know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah, so
just send me a message or email me through Instagram or through the Facebook. Through the Facebook.
Email me on Instagram or through the Facebook. Okay, Grandma. Love Grandma.
Oh goodness,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so my turn. So I was, when we go to sales like that, a lot of times I will be out, scouting stuff to try to find cool stuff for Vicki to sell. But I did find a couple of things for myself, so I'm going to show them real quick. Those of you who don't know, I collect movie soundtracks, mostly horror and sci-fi and stuff like that. But there's a lot of other stuff a lot of other types of movies that I like. So I was pretty stoked when I picked up these awesome Smokey and the Bandit 2 soundtracks on vinyl. I paid $4 a piece for these. Now these actually I could probably get about $30 a piece for, but I don't want to sell them. I'm putting them in my own collection. I think they're awesome. Like I said, these guys love themselves some Burt Reynolds.
They had a lot of Burt Reynolds, a lot of Marilyn Monroe. I saw that Nate Ricks commented in there. Yeah, lots of Marilyn Monroe. You must have looked at the listing.
Yeah.
They had so much stuff for sale, and when we left yesterday, there was still so much. So
they had a bunch of posters, which I would have gotten more had they been a little cheaper, but I picked out a couple for her to resell. And then I actually grabbed one for myself. I'm not going to undo the whole thing. These are all like folded ones, but this one I grabbed for myself. It's Young Frankenstein. I love Mel Brooks, and Young Frankenstein is my favorite of the Mel Brooks movies. And so I grabbed this for myself. But the funny thing is, I ended up looking it up when I came home. And I do sell posters as well. But this one actually came up, and I realized, it sells for a wide range of prices, but it's sold plenty of times. The same one folded up has sold for quite a bit. So I actually listed it. We'll see if it sells. I did get some questions today from a potential buyer in Canada, who sounds like he might buy it. So we'll see. Next week I might be able to tell you guys that I sold this for buco bucks. But I was pretty excited to get that for myself. But anyway, that's all I grabbed. That's all I grabbed for myself at the estate sale. There were so many cool posters there. Yeah. Pretty awesome. All right, let me go through and show. I'm starting with t-shirts this time. So I had gone back to yesterday's fits this week, and I went through over 50 garbage bags filled with stuff. Most of it was stuff that needed to be laundered. Not everything was, though. Some of the stuff was just stuff they had set aside for whatever reason. And I spent about $500 this week. I usually don't spend quite that much, but there's just been so much good stuff that I've been getting from them, and I'm getting it all listed like right away. And I've actually made back, I figured out the math on it. I've made back like 70 to 80% of what I've paid into all this stuff that I've gotten from yesterday's fits over like 5 different buys. So I've already made back like 80% of it, but only sold like 18% of it. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good turnaround.
It is.
It's pretty fast turnaround. It just shows like how good the stuff is that I've gotten from them. Anyway, this is a t-shirt that I got this last week. I think I paid like $5 for it. And it's an Apollo Saturn V t-shirt. Now, Saturn V was from the original Apollo missions, the Apollo program. This t-shirt is from 97, 98, but the Saturn V was more like moon landing time with those Apollo missions. It's just a really cool vintage 90s t-shirt. I listed this already. I don't remember when I think I got this for like $5 from them. I listed it, I think, for like, I don't remember, $50 at least. But that's just a really cool, as I said earlier, I love me some space stuff. I don't know why, but there's just certain themes that I get really into. Skiing is one of them, and space is one of them. Maybe we can get those together. Maybe Jesus skiing a moon crater in space. That'd be pretty awesome. You like that?
No.
So I got a bunch of stuff, and then I actually, after I had gone through all those bags, I was there for a couple of hours helping Jesse go through all those bags. And after I done that, I actually went to their new location for the first time, and I got to go upstairs and go through some stuff. And I did grab a couple of things at that time, and this is one of them. This is just a really, really cool all over print, early 90s. I think the date on it's 91. So you can see this
dinosaur,
this Fruit of the Loom tag. Well, it's not just dinosaurs. That's the thing. It's a lot of dinosaurs. So basically, it's skeletons and bones of different animals. It's not. There's like a whale on there. There's chimpanzee on there. But there are some dinosaurs. There's definitely some dinosaurs.
Dragon, kangaroo,
salamander, fringed dragon,
chimpanzee, bat, turtle.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting like mixture of different animal bones and skeletons. All over print. It's faded, but it's in really good condition and just a really, really cool t-shirt. I think I listed this pretty high.
I'm a dinosaur. Roar.
Yeah, I think I actually listed when I get things like this that are so specific, and I know there's going to be people, there's going to be some nerd out there who's into anthropology or what's the study of bones, like osteology or I don't remember what it is. But when you have people who are going to be specifically into this kind of stuff, I tend to price it higher. So I think I priced this one at like $70. It's just a really cool single stitch, awesome t-shirt. I bought this one and the next one I'm going to show you for the combined price of $15. So basically $7.50 for this t-shirt. This next one, another all over print. Now, the first time that we went to Yesterday's Fits, I'd gotten a couple of t-shirts that were all over prints that were like this one, and they had the same tag on them. It says local color, art clothes. But it's actually a Hanes tag underneath. This was like a company, like a gallery or company in Colorado from the 90s. And the other ones were really cool that I got. This one's awesome. This is like, it's got cacti on it and really cool lightning bolts going down it. And then on the sleeve, it actually says Desert Botanical Garden, which is in Arizona, I believe. So this is just a really cool kind of like hand painted, hand dyed artist shirt. I think it's awesome. I love it. So I got both of those together. I paid $15 for.
Woo!
So
isn't paleontology the study of dinosaur bones though?
I think that's specific. I think that's specific to dinosaurs, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean I could be too.
So yeah.
And yes, Ross Geller from Friends was a paleontologist.
But I think that was dinosaurs, wasn't it?
I agree. I think it is, but yeah. I could be wrong.
So then
Oliver Prince, who's he?
Oliver Prince, my old buddy from way back when. All right, so back to the stuff that I got at going through all those bags. Check it out, guys. In Excess vintage tee, 1988. This is the Kick Tour.
Which is pretty much the best album, isn't it? The only one that happened until before,
I have no idea.
Before he unfortunately met his demise.
So there are other versions of this t-shirt that have different tour locations on them. This particular one, so this is Around the World in '88. This is a particular one. If you look at it, you'll see it must be the North America tour because it is Canada and US stops on there. But just a super cool single stitch. It's actually in really good condition. This one didn't have any issues at all. And so
it was such a good good album.
I think I ran this through the wash. This one doesn't have a size tag.
That looks like a current,
but it's like an XL.
Yeah.
It's a little short, but it's about, it's as far as width goes, it's an XL cotton t-shirt. Just a really cool one. I love it. In Excess. Got a couple of cool surf shirts. This is a Gecko Pro Surf Team Gecko Hawaii t-shirt. It's really soft thin vintage t-shirt. And it's really interesting because I've been talking to the guy, whoever it is that runs the Gecko Hawaii account on Instagram, because I had sold some stuff to them. I was asking him about this t-shirt because it's got this hefty tag on it instead of the Gecko Hawaii shirt. And he told me, gave me a little education. Not that it really matters, but basically they had t-shirts that they had made, they had manufactured in Hawaii, but also on the mainland. And so he basically said that when you see the tags where it says Gecko Hawaii on them, those are ones that were made on the mainland. And when it's t-shirts like this that have, you know, just this basic t-shirt or a tag on it, he said these were actually ones that were manufactured actually in Hawaii.
On island.
In Hawaii.
On the island. Island.
It doesn't really like affect the value.
It's a nice soft one though.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't really affect the value or anything. It's just like a little useless tidbit of information. So, and then I got this other cool surf t-shirt, Hobie surf t-shirt that I love. It's like just really nice and faded, single stitch, really awesome giant graphic on the back, and then on the front it's got the Hobie, and it's like that kind of puffy stuff that's on
puffy
it.
Neon.
Yeah, I love it. I really like all the surf stuff too. Just like I like my space stuff, I like the surf stuff, I like the ski stuff, I like the ski-doo stuff, I like my jet ski stuff, I like my snowmobile stuff. Snowmobile stuff. All right, next to you.
All right, so this is actually, I'm gonna move back a little. Sorry, I got some bigger stuff, so I gotta move back to lift it up. So this I paid $25 for. It was 50% off at the estate sale. But this is a brand new in the box Series 4, so you can see the $50 price tag. Series 4 Premier TiVo. It has all of the components. It's open box, but it's brand new, and everything in there is still in the wrapping and everything. I paid $25. I can sell it for about $200 as is. I need to call TiVo and double check the serial number on it because they had a lot of TiVo stuff. So if this actually has the lifetime subscription with it, it can go up for over $300. So I still love TiVo. I had a TiVo. One of the first ones, 20 years ago when it first came out, and I kept it for years. I loved it. So
I never had one.
Anyway, so this should sell for at least $200. They had a whole bunch of electronics there, but they were super high priced. So even at 50% off, but that was one I took a chance on because it was dead stock.
Yeah.
So let's see. This one.
Making lots of noise over there.
I know, sorry.
Jingly jangly.
So one of the things that I went back to get was, God, it's hard for me to get. Once you bring it, I know, it's hard for me to lift it out of here. Sorry. So they had a bunch of cookie jars, and this is one of them. So this is, Glinda the Good Witch.
Are you a good witch or are you a bad witch?
So I paid $20. I went back on 50% off day because they had them priced so high. I knew that they'd still be there. So I paid $20, and this one will sell for about $150, $175.
Oh yeah, they collected a lot of Wizard of Oz stuff, as only any proper gay would.
Of course.
Because yes. It's kind of like when you get your gay card, they tell you have to like.
You have to love Wizard of Oz for sure.
Judy Garland, as I do.
Judy Garland is a prerequisite. So I've shown this similar one before, and it sells for me for over $100 every time. I got this on 50% off day. I paid $12. This happens to be the enormous version of the vintage cookie jar. So this one should sell for about $175.
What is this right here?
I don't know.
Is that just like the? Oh, that's like the print or whatever you call it, the marking.
Yeah, well, this is generally made by Napco, so I don't know who Lassie is, but I'll look that up.
Allison says, "Damn, Glinda."
Damn, Glinda. So anyway, I paid $12.50 for this. I think I can get close to maybe $150, $175 for this. It is big. It will require an enormous box to protect it properly from shattering into a zillion pieces as it goes across the country. But
yowza.
Do the cookie jars make sounds when removing the lids? No. So let's see. Sorry, I got a couple more. Keep talking, Katie.
Oh, we'll keep talking. I'll start talking. So Greg Dupage Pick Air. Oh, where did it go? Oh, he said that one of his personal grails is the on TV converter box. Do you know anything about that? I do not.
I do not, but I did pick up some other TiVo stuff, so let me know.
Yeah.
What that is, and I may have it.
Yeah, let her know what it is, and maybe she'll have it. Okay. Who knows? Ooh, that's a good one. Anyway, let's see.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep talking. I'm trying to answer some questions.
All right. And so Nate did say about the cookie jar that it was huge. And yeah, just think about how many awesome cookies you can get in there.
Yeah.
A lot of cookies, okay?
So I did pick up these 2 cookie jars as well. Again, not something that I would have paid $45 for, but I did pay $22.50 for it. It's just vintage Looney Tunes, Yosemite Sam. It sells easily for $75 to $100, nice. Plus shipping. Again, sorry, out of breath.
It's nice that it has its own box, because then you can put it in another box and it'll be good to go.
Some people will underprice these things and blow them out too cheaply, but then there are others that have sold for well over $100. So you know your market. Look at your comps and
careful, those are real dirty.
I know.
They're real dusty.
They were in the garage. And this is the other one I picked up.
That was really cute.
Same price, $22.50. There's a couple listed for about $150 to $200 right now. That's not what they sell for, but if that's all they're listed at, you know, it'll sell somewhere over $100.
Sunny wants to know how you ship those. Those ones are easy because they're already in boxes with styrofoam, I think, right? So you can put them in. I mean, obviously you put them in another box, but they should be pretty safe in their box. But what about the ones that do not have boxes?
Lots and lots of bubble wrap. You ship you wrap the lid and the base separately, and then you tape them together, and then you wrap them all again a bunch. And usually, if not boxed, double boxed if you don't have a really thick box. Lots of bubble wrap, lots of packing peanuts.
Yeah.
So it does not move.
Anytime you're packaging anything that's breakable, you just got to imagine, okay, what are going to be the stress points on this package? And like maybe imagine like if something really heavy came down on one side at the end, it has to be able to give to a certain degree. That's why you do the bubble wrap and like double box and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, Katy doesn't do my shipping on that kind of stuff. Katy actually does help me when something is huge. And I need an extra set of hands, not on something like that. I don't need extra set of hands for that stuff.
And with something that's really big and with something that's like really big and stuff like that and then super potentially breakable, I will help you because I'm like, I like to approach things as like very mathematically and analytically and stuff like that.
Yeah, like she totally
So I'll sit there and I'll figure it out, be like, okay, we need to have something here because of something, if you get weight
pressure
here, it's gonna crush it.
She's helped me with certain things like different stereo components that are oddly shaped and like the computer when I shipped that big computer in several pieces, things like that where you have to almost not quite Frankenbox, but you have to really figure out how to configure packaging so that the thing doesn't shatter into a million pieces. So
absolutely. Because you can think that you've done a great job and then it's like a little bit of weight on one area is going to shatter the whole thing. All
right. So this is my last hard good item. But some of you guys might recognize this. This is a Fisher-Price toy. His name, I paid $6 for him. Not Fisher-Price, I apologize. Play School. It's from the group of Coda and Friends, Kota. So Coda is, if you look that up, it's a big, huge ride on, I think it's a Triceratops toy. They're almost impossible to ship because they are enormous and they are bigger than most companies will actually ship. It's bigger than USPS will ship. I think you have to go UPS maybe. But so it's Play School. It's Coda, Kota. Coda and Pals is the line, and that's Monty, the T-Rex.
Oh, Monty!
And I paid about $6, and if he works, which I have not checked yet, if he will sell for about $50 plus shipping, and it's pretty heavy. It's a good 5 or 6 pounds. So if he works, he's supposed to walk, and he moves his mouth, and he moves his hands and stuff like that.
He's cute. He's cute.
That's my last hard goods item. All right, to show.
We got some more t-shirts. So like we said, one of the guys must have worked in computing because they had like a bunch of computer t-shirts. A lot of the computer t-shirts were like mid 2000s and weren't any kind of designs that were cool that were worth reselling, but I did pick up a few. And one of them was one. This is, you can see the Hanes tag right here. This one you'll see a lot on 80s t-shirts, but also on early 90s t-shirts. So this t-shirt is actually I don't even think it's been worn before, but this is from the APCUG, which is the Association of Personal Computer User Groups. It was a user group summit in the fall of '91. Now, I don't know if this is going to sell, but usually vintage tech, vintage computer stuff does pretty well. This group is like, it's all about like educating people on using technology and computers and stuff like that. So it's just cool. It's got a cool graphic on it. And again, 1991. So I was pretty happy about that. This is another vintage tech t-shirt. This one I actually got from the Yesterday's Fits one. It was in one of those laundry bags. And man, this t-shirt is just absolutely destroyed. It's faded. It's stained. It's bleached. It doesn't have any holes in it. But check it out, guys. This is actually an 80s Apple t-shirt. So this is Apple AUX, which was there, as you can see on there, Apple's version of Unix, which came out in 1988. Again, you can see that same Hanes tag. So this t-shirt is from the late 80s, and it's just absolutely destroyed. Now, I listed this. I priced it super high because Apple stuff tends to go for high amounts. And I just couldn't find anything like this. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I have no idea if it's something that's somebody's gonna want to pay a bunch for. So I went ahead and priced it super high, like a couple $100. We'll see, you know, after like a month or two, if it's like not getting any like enough views or watchers, then I'll probably do a sell similar and list it for a lot lower. But you just never know. And you know, Apple, there are like some crazy Apple fanatics out there that would collect stuff like this, and it's just really cool because it's like the Unix stuff that, you know, Linux and Unix, like supercomputer nerds are going to be into that kind of stuff, not your Apple user. So really, really cool. Then I got a couple of awesome, nothing like super crazy, but just some really cool shark t-shirts. This pool shark. These were ones that ended up in my t-shirt soup for 36 hours to clean them up, and it really did clean them up a lot.
They're nice and bright.
Yeah, it's just a really cool pool shark with a white, great white shark on it. This one I think is really cool. It's like quintessential 90s graphic. Excuse me. This tiger shark. And it says rippin'. It's a tiger shark there. And it's got the tail on the back. Just like a really cool, ridiculous 90s graphics on it. But yeah, a lot of this stuff had to be treated, had to be in my t-shirt soup. And this is one of them. This is really awesome. Grateful Dead, 90s, 1994 fall tours. This was Boston. This is basically Massachusetts, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New York. So it's a really cool.
Just a Northeast tour.
Yep, really cool fall tour. It's got all the fall leaves and everything. It's got the skeleton playing the banjo there. But just an awesome t-shirt that I think, you know, should sell for pretty well.
Single stitch.
Single stitch. This one's soaked, so it's faded, but it's not. It had some stains on it that are now gone.
Yeah, so, and it's kind of an off white. It's not a bright white.
Yeah, I put beige.
I don't think it was ever supposed to be bright white, but
I think it actually was beige, and it's faded quite a bit. But it's just a really cool t-shirt. So I have this listed already. I think I have it listed for like 140. We'll see how it does. This next one,
I'm surprised, 140. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Grateful Dead. The thing about Grateful Dead is that it's super, super popular in the streetwear community, and there's a lot of it out there for you to be able to comp it out. So it's actually pretty easy to figure out what stuff, the value of stuff, and if it's one that should go for a ton or just a little. So that's fair. Check out this awesome Frank Yankovic 1986 Grammy Award winner. It's actually signed by him.
Whoever the hell that is.
He was the polka king. Okay,
and he's not related to Weird Al Yankovic. We did look it up.
No, he is not, but they have performed they have collaborated together.
That's frightening.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this t-shirt, this is from 1986. This is like an old Augusta tag. This is sportwear, but just a fantastic t-shirt. I think I priced this like 100 because it's signed by him. There's not really a lot of comps. There's like one other Frank Yankovic t-shirt that sold on eBay. Doesn't have a date on it, and it says I think they sold it for like $25, but it's not signed or anything like that. I think this one's way cooler. Let me just bang through these t-shirts real quick, and then we'll go back to you. This is another really awesome one, 1994 Lollapalooza. Now Lollapalooza, the first year was 91. This one doesn't have any of the bands listed on it.
I was there.
And there are, you know, a number of these that you can see in comps. I priced this a little bit high, but not anything. It's not too crazy. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get 100, but This one's had reprints done of it, but this is obviously an original single stitch, nice and faded. It's got a lot of wear around the collar. But it's just it is just a really cool t-shirt. So I'm going to see if I can get like $100 for it.
I think that might be the Lollapalooza that I crowd surfed in. And it was the one and only time I crowd surfed, and I lost my shirt, and I will never do it again.
Crazy.
Well, clearly I will never do it again because I'm 100 years old at this point. But when I was young and about 16 or 17 then at that show, I think that might have been the one. It was either that one or it was the Lollapalooza the year after that.
I don't know. Anyway, so down to my last two t-shirts. I have other stuff. I have some sweatshirts and jackets to show, but I'm going to show these last two t-shirts. Now this one, when Vicki saw this one, she went like this. Oh! And then she looked at me like I had betrayed her because I didn't give it to her, I guess. But whatever, dude.
I think I could fit half a boob in it, so it's not like something I could actually wear.
No,
if I could wear it, I would.
No, but you were more like you would have wanted to buy it and sell it yourself. This is an amazing Bon Jovi, The Tour. This was 1987, which would have been the Slippery When Wet.
It was pre Slippery When Wet tour.
Is it?
Yeah, so Slippery When Wet did come out the end of '87. That was when the tour was, but that was not branded as Slippery When Wet. So I think it's pre Slippery When Wet.
All right. Well, I have that title right now, so I need to go update that. But it's 1987. This one is super faded. Now, this had some serious yellow stains all over the bottom of it because, like I said, these were all in those laundry bags. This one was really stained. So this hung out in my t-shirt soup for 36 hours. And it's seriously faded, but all the staining is gone. So it's
small. It is small. It's a women's or men's small. I don't care what size it says on there. Measurements are definitely small.
It's a large. It's not a small measurements wise. It's short a little bit, but side to side, it's like over 20 inches. That's not as small. The small is like 17 or something like that.
Okay, it's maybe a junior large then.
It's okay, but anyway. It's a vintage. I would say it's a vintage. It's an XL.
Oh my God, so funny. So I don't know if that's Deb or Mel. That was my first No Chaperone concert. He played in Indy on his birthday. 1988, he played Providence, Rhode Island on his birthday, and I was one of the girls that got to bring his cake up on stage.
Wow, that's pretty fancy. That's pretty fancy. Anyway, Bon Jovi, yeah, it's 21 inches across the chest. That's definitely not a small. That would be probably more like a modern large. All right, last one for t-shirts, guys. This was another one. This one had ridiculous yellow staining on it, and it came out glorious out of the t-shirt soup. It is super. It's like I put in my condition description. I put paper thin, super soft vintage fabric because I want people to know like it's like that really thin, whatever. But this is an amazing. It's got beautiful fade to it. Rolling Stones t-shirt, 1989. Steel Wheels Tour, presented by Budweiser. It's got this fantastic neon orange and pink colors on it. Just a beautiful t-shirt. There aren't a lot of them out there. There's none this size. This is a large. The only ones, I think there's a couple on eBay right now that are extra large, but this one is just fantastic. It's just so warm, but in all the right ways. It's got like a couple of, holes in it like this, but honestly, for people that are into these kinds of shirts, they like this fade that it has to it, and like you can just like see through it. It's so soft. So I have this one priced up pretty high. I think I have it priced at like $300 right now.
That's a pretty cool one.
But so we'll see. I would take an offer for less than that, but just it's such an amazing t-shirt. I think I paid like $30 for each of these band t-shirts, the Bon Jovi and this Rolling Stones, but I should be able to sell them for a couple $100.
So by Rita, Lori asked, do you put anything else but hot water and LA Awesome in your t-shirts?
That's all I put in the soup. Sometimes I'll try to treat the stains a little before, but usually I'll do the t-shirt soup. This is for anything that's like white or light because you got to be careful. Sometimes stuff will bleed, so you want to make sure you have some of that. You can get the RIT powder color remover, and anytime if you do clothing, you should always have some of that on hand. And so it's really good when something has just bled. So like let's say you actually washed a red sock with your white t-shirts, anytime bleeding happens, you just throw it back in the wash with some of that RIT color remover, and it usually takes it right out. But yeah, I just soak it for 36 hours and then I wash it, and if there's any stains left after that, a lot of times it's white t-shirts, then I go after it with the bleach pen. All right, you're up.
So I do have one more item that is considered hard goods. It was in back of me, so I forgot to show it. but I paid $5 for this fantastic vintage 70s chain pendant hanging lamp. It's this drum lamp, and it's so tiki. It's got all this wood carved on the edges and sides. I paid $5 for it. Every time I find one of these items and I cater it to the tiki loving crowd, this will sell for at least $150.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, if you want to just move that.
It's very chainy.
I know it's loud, sorry. So I'm going to stand up for a couple of these things because some of them are long. So this is just clothing stuff, but I was channeling my inner Rick Dorn when I was shopping for some really nice menswear. So this is a gorgeous men's jacket, and it is partially cashmere, and it's this Ermen's Zigeldo Zegna. That name I can never pronounce, but we all know is a good brand. Sorry, I'm trying to get the tag to show you.
Nice, you can see
for Neiman Marcus, and I paid. It was purple tags were $2. I paid $2 for this. What? I will send this. Now, this is a suit jacket. It is part of a suit, but because it has a textured pattern, it could very easily stand alone as a sports coat, which is what I'm going to go with. It does have working surgeon cuffs, which means that and I learned this from Rick, that the buttons unbutton so you can roll up the sleeves. What? So this will sell for well over $100. It's made in Italy.
That's crazy. So Victoria Smith says about the lamp that she thinks that it's mid to late 60s.
Yeah, I think it's late 60s into 70s. That whole drum lamp thing was that time frame, but you're probably right.
All right.
So this I picked up at the estate sale. I paid $4 for this. So this is a vintage Penn State. One of the guys went to Penn State because there's a lot of Penn State stuff there. Vintage. This is probably 70s with this tag. And it does have some damage. You can see the inner lining is kind of a mess. But I only paid $4 and the outside's in good shape. I'll probably price it around 50 or 60 bucks. This I paid about $9 for. This was on sale. This is another really nice high-end, made in the USA, Hickey Freeman.
Ooh, Hickey Freeman.
Hickey Freeman for Nordstrom. This is going to be another, $100, $120 blazer.
What's happening, Hickey?
I know everything's falling down. Sorry, guys.
I'm trying to help.
Now this, I did pay a little bit up for. I paid about $12 for this because it's $15.99 and it was on sale. So this is a vintage men's top coat. It's the houndstooth pattern.
Hey, it's pretty.
But it's a Chaps Ralph Lauren, and it is a cashmere blend. And I would probably sell this for about $150 to $175, maybe more. Let's see. What else do I have? We just did this one, right? Okay.
What about this awesome dress?
Oh, yeah.
Or not dress, I guess.
Look at this. What? Okay, so this is...
I don't even know what's happening here.
This is a vintage 60s or 70s. I think this is an African wax print type fabric. I'm going to look inside and see if I can find it on the seams. I wasn't able to. It has pockets.
What?
And it is a jumpsuit.
What?
And then it has these fantastic asymmetrical neckline with these poofy sleeves. I don't know. It's just, I love it. I did pay about $7 for this at Savers. It's super bright. I wish you could see, like, it's like practically neon.
It's amazing. I want to see somebody in this.
I may need to wait until my daughter gets here on Christmas to take that photo because she's super tiny and she can model it.
I think we're down now to the stuff that you got from that I brought you from yesterday's fits.
Yeah. So this is stuff from Katy, picked up for me at yesterday's fits. So this, I'm sure Allison knows right from the get-go. This is a vintage Pendleton wool men's robe. It has these button sleeves at the cuff. It's really, really nice. This particular one has no holes, no issues, but it also doesn't have the belt. That's the only problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I can probably get around $100 for it. It's just a really nice one.
Yeah. Now this one I found just the belt. going through those bags of stuff. And so we set it aside. And then I found the robe.
And this is another one. So another vintage Pendleton robe. But this one does have issues. It has a big hole under one arm, as you can see. It has some other issues with it, but it has the matching belt. So I will sell this as is. A lot of people buy these worn as cutters, and they'll use the fabric for something else. So I paid $5 for the two of them combined. Yeah. The one that's damaged, he gave to me, and I paid $5 for the one that's not damaged. So I'll probably still get 40 to 50 bucks on this one.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then these ones are ones that I picked out because I knew how excited you would be about these.
Yeah. So yeah, so Reselling Diva, my daughter's 27, but she is a super, super tiny 00 little 90-pound little tiny thing. And I definitely need to have her model that jumpsuit. I just think that'll look better on a person. And I don't know anybody else that's that tiny. So these Katy picked up for me, $10 a piece.
Let me say, I should have hid them. But when I brought in my pile of stuff, Vicki spotted them and was seriously like, oh, and she got so excited because she was like, are those for me? Are those for me? Are those for me?
I knew they were. I knew they were. A, because they're pants, almost. They're shorts.
Sort of.
And she would never list them, but I knew that she knew I would like them. So do I repair any holes? I'm not a good seamstress. If it's a very tiny hole in a sweater or something that's on a seam, I can generally do it with some sloppy couple stitches, or if it's a button. But something that large is not repairable. That's a tear, not a seam split. So I'm not going to repair it.
I do it if it's on a seam, like a t-shirt, because you can just sew it on the inside. It doesn't have to look good. And if it's worth taking the 5 minutes to do it, I will.
So Rags asked, why can't you use, Sandy asked, why can't you use the belt from the good one to up the price? Two different patterns. They look similar, but they're not the same. It's two different plaids.
Yeah.
So so this is really cool Tommy Hilfiger, size large, men's. They're denim.
Super baggy.
Carpenter baggy short alls. So it's overalls, but they're shorts. And they say Tommy on let's see, on that leg and over here. But here's the really cool part. Look at the back.
And then when it's got the awesome plate, you put your hammer in there
because they're carpenter style. Yeah. So they're really cool bib overall short alls. I paid $10 for them. I'll get well over $100 for these. I'm super excited.
I love them. On Etsy.
I think they will sell on Etsy, and they'll sell fast.
And they'll probably go international. Tommy's still huge in like the UK and stuff.
And then these are also super popular. Last pair I had, I sold for about $150. That was about a year ago. Prices come down a little bit. I still think, again, I can get over $100 for these. These are shorts as well, but these are women's. These are women's size large. And they're the same thing, the little carpenter shorts with the little, the flag, carpenter part, little flag on the back.
I love the
spell out on the suspenders.
Really cool.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And that is my haul for the week.
There you go.
I bought a lot more, but that's just the highlights.
Allison says those are shark jumping pants. So
Rick,
I
don't know what that means.
Like jumping the shark.
Yeah.
So Rick says, how many items you guys have listed on Etsy? I just recently got over 1,400 listings. I'm over 1,400 on Etsy. eBay, I'm like still at 23 something. How about you? What are you on Etsy?
I'm at 1,100 on Etsy, 2,600 on eBay.
So Sandy wants to know how you know they're women's. Actually, I think
here's how I know, because the white ones are a large and the blue ones are also a large, and they are enormous. So the large women's are just about the right size to for me to wear, or a little too small for me because I'm not quite a large. And then the large men's, the white ones, are huge. So there's a huge difference in size comparison. The tags don't mention it, and it's hard to tell on things like overalls, but that's how I can tell. The size difference is huge.
And you also notice the placement of the, whatever you call it, the strap where you put your hammer in, like carpenter pants. If you notice, the strap on the women's one is lower, whereas the men's is more up, like by what kind of like where the hip would be, like more like a little bit more.
I don't think that makes a difference.
No, but I think it's a design. I'm just saying, like, there's a big difference in how it's designed. I think it's a more feminine, like it looks more like a women's cut.
Yeah, carpenter pants don't.
I get it.
No different, really, but
they are placed differently on those. I'm just saying.
On those they are. Yes. It's a different style. Yes, in general they are not placed differently. As someone who doesn't sell pants, don't pipe in.
I want to say, like, I know what I'm talking about all kinds of stuff. Okay, so there. Yeah, Allison thinks that the white ones.
When they have a zipper, there is the zipper is on a certain side, but overalls don't have zippers.
You kind of said that with a little bit of a tude. Just saying, Allison. She was kind of a tude when she said that to you. So there you go. But I will say with the whole zipper thing, I kind of feel like when it comes, it's the same thing with the men's. Okay, when you talk about like the buttons of like a shirt, it's like with men's, it's always one way. With women, sometimes it's either. So I feel like
not
a zipper
jeans, not
is
jeans.
Totally different on jeans.
Totally, jeans are totally different. Yeah,
like they're always like one way or the other. And are you gonna say which way that is?
I don't know which way, honestly.
Anyway, well, I guess I'm thinking of like jackets, like as far as like which way the zipper thing goes into. So I think that there's no hard and fast rule.
I don't know.
She's really listening to me right now.
I'm really not.
I know, exactly.
Because you're trying to make absolutes and they don't exist.
No, I'm not asking for an absolute. I'm saying that with a lot of times you hear people ask about jackets, like which way does the zipper go in?
Jackets can go either way.
It goes either way. It doesn't make a difference. That's what I was
saying. Some overalls do have zippers and coveralls do as well, but those do not. We're talking about specifically those two that I was just showing. Yeah. Neither one of those have zippers.
All right, so I still have a little bit of a pile of stuff here, so I'm going to try to go through it quickly. Speaking of the Wisconsin Badgers sweatshirt, this is the one that I got this week, and I think it is awesome. I think this is the best graphic I've gotten so far for this for that particular team. I think it's just
he's real cute.
He's really cute, and there was a stain up here, and I was able to get it out. I actually I had washed this one, I had scrubbed this one, I did all kinds of treatment, and I finally went ahead and used the bleach pen on it because even though it's like kind of a heathered gray, if you look at it, it's kind of a heathered gray. The fabric itself, it has those little gray marks. The fabric itself is white, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try the bleach. And so I did, and I was worried about it, but you cannot. It totally took the stain out, and it did not in any way hurt the. You can't see it, so it looks great. I got this really awesome New England Patriots sweatshirt that I think is.
I really like that one. If I liked sportsing, I would totally wear that.
Yeah, but it's got like this whole like spell out across the sleeves that is definitely like super. Let me see, super in style right now, where it goes across all the way across the shoulders and starts to go down the sleeves. This is kind of an all over print, even though it doesn't really go around the back, but it does have on the back. It says NEP, New England Patriots. But just a really cool, super cool design. And this is the Magic Johnson Tees brand, which I actually have a couple others that are same brand. Here's one right here. This is an awesome Super Bowl sweatshirt from the year that the Redskins won against the Bills.
1992.
And this is just an amazing, this is just an amazing all over print. Just a really, really cool design. Unfortunately, I cannot list this on Etsy because of the Redskins name. But I have it up on eBay, and this is just a fantastic design. I love it. This all over print. This is another one, some Magic Johnson Tees sweatshirt. And then this last sweatshirt I have, this is super cool because I have not been able to find a single other one like it. So this is Jim McMahon. He's a football player. He's played with a lot of different teams. He played with the San Diego Chargers only 1 year. I think it was in 88 or 89. 89, I think. And so this is an awesome Local Motion. So Local Motion was a surf brand, Hawaii like surf brand. And it says Local McMotion. And it's got Jim McMahon surfing on it. And he's got a little headband that says San Diego. And if you look down in the corner, it does have the LMI, that Local Motion. So this is a Local Motion brand, even though it's on a Fruit of the Loom tag. But I could not find this anywhere. Nothing else like it. I just think it's super cool. And like I said,
isn't he an ESPN sports announcer or sports center person now too? Hasn't he been doing that for years now?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Anyway, just a super cool sweatshirt. I love the whole surf thing. And and like I said, he was only on that team for a year. So I don't know. We'll see how it does.
Yeah, the Patriots are always loathed by the rest of the country. That's nothing new. You know what? If the team lost all the time, and when the team did lose all the time, they weren't loathed nearly as much as now that they are an unstoppable dynasty.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right. So let's skip that one. I just got too many good finds this week, guys. So I got some really cool jackets. So this one is actually, I think, kind of a sleeper hit right here. because this is just this really nice, I think this is from 50s or 60s is when this is from. This is a navy, it's the navy, what's the name? The navy, I'm trying to think of it's the team. It's like their
football.
Right, but they have a name that starts with an M.
Oh, I don't know.
Their mascot. I don't know.
It's
Navy
like Minutemen or something, but it's not.
Yeah, it's the U.S. Naval Academy. Somebody can look it up and tell me because I'm drawing a blank right now.
Midshipmen.
Midshipmen, the Navy midshipmen. And you look at this tag right here. And I believe this is 50s, maybe early 60s, but I think it's 50s. Just a really cool tag, and I don't even feel it. It's like this. It's like got this heaviness to it. It's like really.
It's
like
not satin. It looks like a satin, but it's not satin.
It's got like some weight to it.
It's like a canvas kind of.
Yeah, it's just in beautiful condition. And I have this listed pretty high because I think I paid like 25 for it, but I actually think this could go for a couple $100. And there's a particular NFL player, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, who came out of that team from the early 60s. I think this jacket will do really well. I think it's
Hey, I see Barry, 5-day flipper in the house. How are you doing, bud? How did you do at ThriftCon?
He actually didn't end up going.
You didn't go?
Yeah, he didn't end up going. But
okay.
Next one, well, I think he got sick and he was having some car issues, so it was a big bummer because he's here, so it's kind of like a big trip to go on that 4 or 5 hour drive and do all that stuff. But I think he got down with the sickness that we all had.
You still have lingering effects of
that. So this is a really awesome, I think this is 80s chalk line, made in the USA, LA Lakers. But what I think is really cool about this, first of all, it's a small, so it really is pretty small.
It's small.
It is pretty small. But what I think is awesome about this is if you look at the back, so it's got Lakers on the back, which that in and of itself is not unusual. But if you try to look up comps for this jacket, you'll see this one. But they're all full yellow, like it's full yellow lettering, whereas this is a purple with the yellow outline. So I actually think this particular one is very unique in its colorway. So I think I have this one up for like a couple $100. These chalk line jackets do really well, and obviously the Lakers are a super popular team. This is a really, really nice jacket. I think I paid like $30 for that. Yeah. Nate says he's still fighting his sickness. I got 2 jackets left, guys. I'm down to the 2 jackets here. So this is a really interesting jacket. This is a 90s jacket. This is actually St. Louis Cardinals. But I obviously don't know a whole lot about sportsing, but I learned about this from when I bought it and looked it up and everything. This is St. Louis Cardinals. They used to be called the Browns. And in 1944 was one of the years that they won the World Series as the Browns. And so this particular one, it says Browns, 1994 Cardinals, St. Louis. This jacket's from the 90s. It was a Cooperstown, one of those Cooperstown collection starter jackets, but it is from the 90s. This one I paid up a little before. I think I paid $35 for this one. It doesn't have anything on the back. I just listed this and I sold this morning for $210. So I already sold it for $210, guys. Paid like $35 for it, sold it for $210. Awesome. That's just a really unique, pretty cool jacket. Now,
it's really cool. This is my favorite find that you've found in a really long time.
This is honestly, this is this week, even though it's like I was going to look through a bunch of dirty clothes, I found a lot of really cool stuff. And this one is like the best thing, definitely like the best thing I've found in a long time.
Jen, I am a huge fan of Disturbed as well. I know that might surprise you because we have nothing in common. But yeah, I love Disturbed.
Okay, so this particular jacket was in terrible shape. The sleeves, this is what I'm going to show you is a varsity jacket. Here, I'll kind of show it without showing what it totally is. Some people who, if you follow my Instagram, then you've seen this. But it's this really nice red wool leather varsity jacket. The sleeves, I wish I had pictures to show you. The sleeves were awful. They looked like, it looked like it had burnt or something.
It was so dirty and gray and grungy and gross. Like it was filthy. It was filthy, but it looked like it had been left on something that was dirty and hot, that had actually almost burned the leather or imprinted something ugly.
But it wasn't like, oh, it's just dirty all over. It was like, it had like these like lines.
It was like someone left it on a dirty, dusty radiator in a basement.
Yeah, it looks really, really bad. Like not the kind of dirty where it's like, oh, you can still wear it. It just looks like it's been worn in. No. So I was trying to clean it with this.
What you paid for it again?
I paid $40 for it. I think
a filthy jacket.
I think I was going to pay. I think I was. He was like, "Well, what do you want to pay for it?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe 30." And he's like, "Well, I was thinking 50, so let's go, halfway and do 40." So I paid 40 for it. I tried the leather conditioner, whatever stuff to clean the sleeves, and it just was having zero effect. And Vicki, the genius that she is, was like, "Why don't you just use magic eraser on it?" And I'm like, "Okay." And so I used magic eraser, and it was effing magic, guys. There's
I just want to correct Deb Smith there for a second. The Debs and Cardinals are two different teams currently, but at the time, the Cardinals used to be called the Browns.
Yeah.
Katie did do her research on it and actually
look
sold
up
it for
St.
over
Louis
$200.
Cardinals on Wikipedia, and it will show you that they were called the Browns back like way long time ago. Anyway, so this jacket, it still has like normal wear on the sleeves, but it's like a normal kind of wear that like looks good with it as opposed to looks like trash. And there was a little bit of staining on the wool as well that I was able to get off. So it went from being like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to revive this jacket, but I'll pay $40 for it, to, oh my God, I have the most amazing jacket ever. And it is an Indian motorcycle jacket. And it is absolutely gorgeous. You can see the sleeves look fantastic. There's some normal wear down on some of the seams. I'll find it here.
You're not going to see it in this light.
You can see it. There's one that's like, it's relatively.
You're not going to see it in this light.
I don't know. I can't find where it is. Anyway, it's still, here it is. So you can see right there, that's the one significant damaged area, but that's about it. But absolutely fantastic, amazing jacket. I have it listed really high. I think it depends. I think I could get, it's hard to tell with some of these jackets. I saw the same one had sold at one point for like $150, but I've seen a bunch of them that are similar that have sold. I found one on Worth Point that sold just like last year for like $400. That was pretty much the same jacket. So I think I have it listed right now.
Yes, the antique archaeology guys would like that Grandma Cheap. Every time I think of that, I see Indian stuff, I think of Mike.
Yeah, but this is just a absolutely gorgeous jacket, and I cannot believe it. I literally put in a good 2 to 3 hours.
How old do you think it is? Did we look this up? I think it's 60s.
I don't think it's 60s. I think, but who knows? I put vintage.
It's one of those older tags. It's kind of hard. You can't tell if they made it be a retro tag or if it is truly as old as it looks.
I personally think it's 80s, but that's just me, and that's just going off of like I've seen some older Indian motorcycle tags that don't look like this.
They're just not as prolific as Harley by any stretch, so they don't have anywhere near as much merchandise, especially vintage or nice merchandise. So so she's got it listed for I think 500.
Well, I think I have it listed for higher than that. I would like to get 500 for it. I have it listed probably for like 600 or 700 right now. But I mean, I can't even handle like how awesome this jacket is. And I think
it's a great jacket.
I think it was an absolute steal for $40. After I got it all cleaned up, I sent pictures to Jesse, and he was like, wow, he could not believe like how awesome it looked. And he was like, you got to tell me how much it sells for. It's just such a cool, yes, that can be listed. The Indian jacket can be listed. The issue they have is with like the Redskins, the Washington Redskins, the name Redskins. But yes, Indian motorcycle jackets can be listed on Etsy. All right. So that's about it. That's all I've got. I think we got a ton of really good stuff here. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And we're gonna be here on Wednesday for our Wednesday Boss Up and List show. But we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. I hope that you had fun this week because we did have some pretty cool stuff, especially all of the amazing hard goods that Vicki brought to the table for us. But let's get back to enjoying our weekends. I'm a little hungry right now. And I'm going to get a little more work done. I don't know about you. And that's about it. You got anything else to say? You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, say goodbye.
We love you guys.
Nate, we'll see you Tuesday at the meetup. We are having our meetup a couple weeks early because of the holidays. We always have it at the last Tuesday of the month, and the last 2 Tuesdays of this month are Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So we are having our holiday Las Vegas meetup on Tuesday. This Tuesday. I feel like we just had it this Tuesday, but it is our reseller thrifting gift swap and kind of our little reseller party. And We're gonna have some food and you know, have a little thrift miss. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, guys, we will see you later. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.